Hello, you're watching Hornbill TV's top stories of the week. To start off this week's top story, Nagaland Chief Minister Neiphiu Rio presented the budget outlay of 23,727.88 crore for the financial year 2024-2025 with an estimated accumulated deficit of 905.78 crore rupees and also announced a fully funded universal life insurance scheme. The budget did not propose any hike in taxes. Presenting the budget on the second day of the session of the State Assembly, Rio, who also holds the finance portfolio, said gross receipts are estimated at Rs 23,978.05 crore and the gross expenditures are pegged at Rs 23,727.88 crore. The budget estimate is an increase of Rs 644.22 crore compared to the previous financial year, where the amount was at Rs 23,083.66 crore. Rio termed the budget as people-centric and tax-free for the welfare of the people in general. Among significant measures, the state government announced a fully funded universal life insurance scheme to mitigate financial hardships due to untimely demise of a family's breadwinner. The Chief Minister's universal life insurance scheme will be fully funded by the state government. A life insurance coverage of Rs 2 lakh will be given, and additionally accidental insurance coverage of Rs 2 lakh each will also be provided for the breadwinner and 3 other family members, Rio said. The accidental insurance component covers both disability and death. In case of accidental death, the sum insured is Rs 2 lakh per beneficiary, Rs 2 lakh in case of total and irrecoverable loss of both eyes or loss of use of both hands or feet, and Rs 1 lakh for total and irrecoverable loss of sight of one eye or loss of use of one hand or foot. The scheme will cover every household in Nagaland, and a provision of Rs 15 crore has been provided to pay the cost of the premium, he said. Besides, the local area development fund allocation has been hiked to Rs 2 crore from Rs 1 crore for each constituency. To generate more resources for capital infrastructure, it becomes imperative to continuously take measures to augment our resources, he said. Steps are being taken in the different revenue sectors. During the session, the Nagaland Assembly unanimously passed 2 bills, enhancing salaries and allowances of legislators and also goods and services tax. The Nagaland salaries, allowances and other facilities of the Chief Minister, Speaker, Deputy Chief Minister, Ministers, Leader of Opposition, Deputy Speaker and other members of the Nagaland Legislative Assembly, and pension for ex-members 6th Amendment Bill 2024 bill was introduced by Minister for Parliamentary Affairs KG Kenya. The Nagaland Goods and Services Tax 7th Amendment Bill 2023 was introduced by Chief Minister Neiphiu Rio. The Nagaland Assembly also repealed the Public Debt Act 1944 and amended the Government Securities Act 2006. A government resolution was tabled by Chief Minister Neiphiu Rio. Moving the resolution, Rio said that the Public Debt Act 1944, which regulates the operation of government securities, is a pre-constitutional act and has become redundant with the enactment of the Government Securities Act 2006. Neiphiu Rio also introduced and moved the Nagaland Appropriation No. 1 Bill 2024-2 and the bill was passed. Minister for Higher Education Temja Nimnalong moved the motion for withdrawal of the Establishment of Private University Bill 2024 and the bill was withdrawn. While noting that the Naga political issue remains unresolved, he said the signing of framework agreement in August 2015 as well as the agreed position with the NNPGs in November 2017 had raised hopes of lasting peace and that the state would have a peace accord soon. The state government has been playing the role of an active facilitator in the peace talks, CM said, adding that this August House has passed a number of resolutions over the years and there have been broad-based consultative meetings with all civil society organizations and stakeholders on several occasions. Yet, a conclusive outcome continues to elude us, he said. Just like the Mizoram Assembly, which adopted a resolution opposing the scrapping of the FMR, the Nagaland Legislative Assembly unanimously adopted a resolution against the central government's recent decision to fence the Indo-Myanmar border and suspend the free movement regime agreement with the neighboring nation, people aware of the matter said. The 60-member assembly adopted the resolution voice vote. With this, Nagaland has become the second state after Mizoram to have adopted such a resolution. Earlier this month, Union Home Minister Amit Shah said that the central government has recommended an immediate suspension of the free movement regime between India and Myanmar that allowed people from both sides to travel 16 kilometers into each other's territory without paperwork. Hill tribes with kin across the 1,643-kilometer boundary would freely go back and forth under the regime. The state government resolution was moved by Deputy Chief Minister Yanthungo Patton in the assembly session and highlighted that the Naga people live on either side of the international border, and scrapping of FMR and fencing the border would seriously disrupt the age-old historical, social, tribal and economic ties of the Naga people. These measures will cause immense hardship and inconvenience and also agony to the people living in and around the border areas, because the traditional land holding system straddles the international border in many areas, and people have to cross the international border daily for their normal cultivation activities, the resolution said. In view of the special and unique situation mentioned above, this House hereby resolves to appeal to the Government of India to reconsider its decision and to abandon the plan of suspending the FMR and fencing along the Indo-Myanmar border, it further stated. The House also resolved to appeal to the Centre to work out regulations for the movement of people across the borders in close consultation with the people inhabiting there, and for suitably bringing in the village council authorities concerned in the entire system of regulations. In the recently held Assam Assembly session, the Assam Cabinet took a significant stride in prohibiting child marriage within the state by repealing the Assam Muslim Marriages and Divorces Registration Act 1935. Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma termed the act as age-old and said on X that this decision signals a significant advancement in the efforts to prohibit child marriages in Assam. The state government mentioned after repealing the law, district commissioners and district registrars will be authorized to take custody of registration records currently in the custody of 94 Muslim marriage registrars on the repeal of the legislation under the overall supervision, guidance and control of the Inspector General of Registration. According to the 2011 census, Muslims make up to 34% of Assam's population, totaling 1.06 crore individuals out of a total population of 3.12 crore. The Assam government has announced a one-time compensation of Rs 2 lakh for Muslim marriage registrars to support their rehabilitation following the repeal of the act. State Minister Jayanta Malla Barua said it was a colonial act and a very important step in the journey towards a uniform civil code in the state. Meanwhile, as per provisions of the act, there remains scope for registering marriages of intended persons below 21 years and 18 years for females, and there is hardly any monitoring for implementation of the act, the state government said. Responding to the criticism in the State Assembly, Sarma said that the bill will be repealed as it is a step towards abolishing child marriage. Till I am alive, I won't allow child marriage to happen in Assam. He said, I will not let this happen as long as Himanta Biswa Sarma is alive. I would like to challenge you politically. I will shut down the shop before 2026, he added. Sarma said that the Muslim women of the state will get relief from torture and exploitation once the act is repealed. On February 27th, elections to the Rajya Sabha were held for Himachal Pradesh, where it looked certain that the Congress party would comfortably win as it had a majority in the 68-member assembly with 40 seats. The Congress fielded its stalwart Abhishek Manu Singhvi as its candidate, while on the other hand, BJP fielded Harsh Mahajan. And as the election process got over, there was a pleasant surprise for the BJP and damage control mode for the Congress. BJP candidate for the Rajya Sabha polls from Himachal Pradesh, Harsh Mahajan, emerged victorious in the election. The BJP claimed that both Congress and BJP candidates received 34 votes each. The party further claimed that the decision regarding its victory was made by toss after both parties received equal number of votes. The BJP candidate won with the draw of lots. Sources said that nearly 8 to 9 MLAs of the Congress cross-voted for the BJP in the polls. But the BJP and the Congress candidates got 34 votes out of 68 MLAs. As luck, or rather ill luck, would have it, Singhvi did win the draw of the lots. The legally laid down procedure in the event of a tie in votes polled by candidates for a Rajya Sabha or Lok Sabha election, but only to get eliminated from the contest in a cruel twist of fate. Fortune smiled on Mahajan instead, even though his slip was sitting in the box. The unusual way to pick a winner in the event of equal votes polled by candidates where only one Rajya Sabha seat is to be filled is thanks to the Rule 75 subsection 4 of the Conduct of Election Rules 1961. As per the rule, where two or more candidates get the same value of votes in an election for a lone RS seat, the candidate with the lowest number of original votes, where this number is same for all, is to be excluded by a draw or lots. The returning officer puts slips with names of the candidates in a box which is shaken well before the slips are drawn. The candidate whose slip is drawn is eliminated, excluded, and whose slip remains in the box is declared the winner, explained an Election Commission functionary. Incidentally, the rule is exactly the opposite for a Lok Sabha election. In the event of a tie, a draw of lots is held, but here the candidate whose slip is drawn is declared the winner. It is written in the stars and written by God. In a normal draw of lots, the name which is taken out wins. Under the strange rule of the EC, which I found too late, the name taken out of the box, which was mine, loses, is excluded, Singhvi said at a press conference in Shimla after losing the election. And in some historic move, the Union Ministry of Home Affairs, the Tripura government and the Indigenous Progressive Regional Alliance, TIPRA MOTA, have inked a tripartite agreement to resolve tribal problems. The deal was signed in the presence of Union Home Minister Amit Shah in the national capital. Home Minister Amit Shah highlighted the importance of the deal, emphasizing its role in admitting past mistakes and opening the road for a brighter future. Calling it a historic day for Tripura, Amit Shah stated, "With this agreement, we have honored history, rectified mistakes, and by accepting the present reality, we have taken a step for the future. No one can change history, but we can learn from the past mistakes and move ahead." Shah praised TIPRA MOTA, tribal parties and organizations for their positive participation in the agreement's achievement, recognizing their contributions to the peace-building effort. TIPRA MOTA and all tribal parties have played a constructive role, and BJP government in Tripura also worked sincerely towards this agreement, he stated. He added, the Tripura government of BJP also made efforts for this from the beginning. CM Manik Shah also played a very important role in studying the details with great interest and taking it to the end. The agreement's specifics has not been revealed yet. However, the organization has also been demanding a separate state for the tribes. It may be mentioned the TIPRA MOTA Supremo Pradyot left Tripura after launching his fast unto death to demand a permanent solution to the problems of the indigenous people. The summary revision of the electoral rules for all 39 urban local bodies in Nagaland is scheduled to start from March 8th. This was stated by Advisor of Urban Development and Municipal Affairs, Jalio Rio, while replying to a star question by NPF MLA Kuzuluzo Nenu in the floor of the Assembly. The written reply tabled also stated that the final publication will be made on April 12, 2024, as per the timeline submitted by the State Election Commission. The last revision of the e-rolls of the 39 urban local bodies was conducted from August 3rd to November 24th, 2022 in the form of intensive revision with January 1st as the qualifying date, it stated. The reply also informed that the deletion and addition in the e-rolls of the ULBs will be done during the special summary revision scheduled from March 11 to March 20th, 2024. It may be mentioned that the long-awaited urban local body elections in Nagaland will be held with 33% seats reserved for women, the State Election Commission announced. The announcement came in the backdrop of the Supreme Court directive to the state's poll panel to complete the ULB election process by the end of May 2023. ULB polls, which have not been held in the state for nearly 2 decades, is slated to be held this year. And in some major drug bust, Indian agencies have seized 3,300 kilograms of narcotics in the highest ever offshore capture and arrested 5 foreigners from an Iranian boat off the Gujarat coast, the NCB said on Wednesday. The operation was undertaken in the Arabian Sea along the International Maritime Boundary Line, jointly by the Navy, the Gujarat Anti-Terrorist Squad and the Narcotics Control Bureau. The contraband is suspected to be containing charas, methamphetamine and morphine. The NCB and other agencies have busted yet another international drug trafficking network and effected the highest ever offshore seizure in the country, a senior official of the Federal Anti-Narcotics Agency said. According to the Navy, this drug seizure, which includes 3,089 kilograms of charas, 158 kilograms of methamphetamine and 25 kilograms of morphine, is by far the largest in terms of quantity in recent times. The 5 people arrested from the boat are suspected to be either Iranian or Pakistani nationals. No documents of nationality have been recovered from them, a senior NCB officer said. The apprehended boat, crew and contraband were handed over to law enforcement agencies on February 27th. The Navy stated that the operation was initiated in response to information gathered by the P-8I LRMR aircraft during a surveillance mission. Following this, the ship was diverted to successfully intercept and apprehended the suspicious dhow. The Supreme Court this week restrained Patanjali Ayurveda Limited from advertising its medicinal products and issued a contempt of court notice to its managing director, Acharya Balakrishna, for violating its November order. The apex court also directed the company to not issue any misleading advertisements or make statements adverse to allopathy. In its order, a division bench headed by Justice Ahsanuddin Amanullah said respondents are restrained from advertising and branding of their marketed medicinal products specified as treating diseases, ailments as in the rules until further orders. They are cautioned from making any statements advertised to any medicine system in any form in print or other media. The plea was filed by the Indian Medical Association seeking an order against all misleading advertisements claiming to have a cure for all ailments and discrediting doctors in the process by doubting the efficacy of allopathic medicines. The plea also sought action against Ramdev and Patanjali. Justice Ahsanuddin Amanullah said, as per bar and bench, I have brought printouts and annexures. We are going to pass a very strict order today. Go through it. How can you say you will cure? Despite our warning, you are saying our things are better than chemical-based medicines, he added. You had the courage and guts to still come up with this advertisement after our order. You are tempting the court. The court came down heavily on the organization for misleading claims in advertisements. Reiterating its earlier order, the court asked to avoid casual statements that are likely to cast aspersions on other medicinal systems. The matter has now been listed for March 19th. And those were the top stories of this week. See you next week. Goodbye.